now.
Woo! Hello and welcome to another Mackem Football Show. Today I'm joined with Mr. Darv, Jacob,
Hello.
Hello.
and
Hello.
Paul Wilson.
Hello.
I think we will have BJ joining us at some point, Mr. Cabby himself, depending on if he figures out how to join it. I know Paul had some issues. How were you two finding the connection?
Oh, yeah. Easy peasy.
That's all right.
Just Paul.
Yep.
Acacia says quack. What do we say back to Acacia?
Right.
No.
No, we say wait.
Hello there. Perfect.
All right. This is just we're leveling up this podcast with some great sounds.
Wait, how do you do it?
I'm going to. It's in the bottom left corner of our chat. It's like a little music icon. Press that. But we're here to talk about the football, so I'll get on to that, shall we? How many games did we play between this and the last one? Did we play? We played 2 games, haven't we? Yeah, we played the Birmingham.
We have
Birmingham and the Huddersfield game. So I've got the Huddersfield stats to me, or to my right. Your right, my left. But we'll talk about the Birmingham game first, then, shall we? Because we won. It was a hard-fought game, right? I'm waiting.
Wait.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Sorry, Southampton are beating Arsenal.
What? Oh.
Sorry.
No,
I just
that
find that so funny.
That is
I
pretty
find that
funny.
so funny.
That is pretty funny. We are recording this live on YouTube, but if you're catching it back, we're on Spotify or any other podcasting services. We're watching this. It's the 47th minute during the Arsenal Southampton game, so that might be a little bit premature or perfectly on point. But yeah, that aside, Birmingham won. Was that Birmingham? No, was that the Stadium
Yeah,
Light?
Birmingham was 2-1.
Yeah, but it was at the Stadium Light, right?
Was it
Yeah.
Sol?
Yes, okay.
It
Right.
was.
I've slept 6 times since then, so forgive me for my hazy memory. Yeah. Oh, and since then, by the way, since the Birmingham game, since the last one, we've hit over 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel, so welcome along to that. Yay! Celebrations! Hey. I love these things on the side. Mr. Price says he's watching the game. Arteta masterclass. Is it that bad? Anyhow, right, yeah, Birmingham, Sunderland. We lost the lead earlier on in this game, didn't we? Like, it kind of came out of the blue, but it was very on form for how Birmingham were putting themselves out on there. They pretty much only ever had chances on the counter-attack. Other than that, I think Sunderland dominated this game. So,
Agreed.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, is there any other moments within that Birmingham game that you would like to highlight or call out?
Yeah, I'm going to go.
Kirkin getting was it Kirkin that got sent off?
Kirkin?
Yes.
It was Circa.
It was, yes.
Kirkin, yeah.
Why'd you call him Kirkin?
I don't know.
Gherkin the Gherkin.
But it's just stupid how he got sent off and didn't even fucking do all.
Oh, I disagree. I disagree with that. So the Cirkin incident was definitely a yellow card. My approach to this, as I said on RWA earlier this week as well, was yes, it was a yellow card, but the Birmingham player should have gotten carded as well because his hands were raised and created the nosebleed, which is quite clearly an oversight from the officials in that game. So we've got to roll with the punches. Luckily, it was very much towards dying embers of the game, and we made substitutions immediately to bridge that back, the back four, to make sure that we were able to at least defend for the rest of the game. We might have won by more, but ultimately we did enough defensively to ensure that we deserved the 3 points on that game. Cabby's in the chat, but he's not in the voice chat, so I'm quite confused. Hello, welcome. And Dean said, have Sunderland panicked in getting a 40-year-old? I'm quite confused by that, so there might be something on the side that I'm not sure something's happened in the background. But yes, what are your thoughts, boys? Circuit incident, I think it was a fair card, a fair red card. It's definitely a second yellow. Jacob clearly is not happy with that.
Yeah, same as you. I think it was probably definitely yellow.
Mhm.
However, I think that Birmingham probably also should have got a yellow for it.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit confused too as why they didn't. Didn't really understand the referee and why he didn't give the yellow card to Birmingham for it, but only he
Yes.
knows why. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I'll latch on to that that after Paul gives his comment on it as well.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think that was a second yellow card. The second from where I was sat on the ground.
How far away were you?
I'm trying to think. Did that happen in the southwest? You know where the Roker end is.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think that was from where I was sat. I don't think that was a second yellow card to Dennis Serkin.
So we at home, we lowly folks watching and on a stream have the benefits of replays and basically just obviously the raw reaction of it as well from a top down perspective. He does get a lot more of the man than he does of the ball. He was a bit out of control. Studs was showing. It could have potentially been a direct red, but the Birmingham player lashing his face on the way through as well, that I think needed to be carded. So building on Darv's point, I 100% think that the referee was way too lenient for Birmingham and way too harsh towards Sunderland in that game. But ultimately, we win. So, like, the end of the day, all it did is potentially impact how we would have set up defensively against Huddersfield. And I don't know, that Huddersfield game we'll talk about in a couple of minutes' time, but I don't think changing how we set up defensively would have changed the outcome. So we'll see. How do I join the call? So you go onto your Discord. You go
He's already
to...
here.
Oh, there you go. Figured it out.
Right here.
He's figured it out. Hey, the Sunderland cabbies here. So I can ask you directly now then. What is your thoughts on the yellow card or second yellow card / red card incident at the Birmingham game?
The Birmingham game was just one of them. 50-50, I reckon.
Well, 50-50 for what? Sorry.
The second yellow card.
Or you think half the time the referee wouldn't have given a card for it? Is that what you're given, or is it 50-50 for the challenge? I'm confused.
I reckon 50-50, like depending on the referees. It
Right.
was one of them challenges to look at. It was some would give a yellow, some other would not give a yellow card.
Right.
Me personally, I don't think there was anything massive in it.
Yeah, I think the way we were responding around the referee, I think we might have wound him up to the point where he might have been a little bit.
The highlight.
Oh, you found it. Are you going to share? Are you going to share it?
Highlight. Yeah. Some.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put. Oh fuck.
Share your screen and we'll watch it.
Yeah.
Watch it live.
Where is it? It's like right here somewhere.
So we can all This is definitely upgrading it for us as a as a podcast. We can see what everybody's
Keep
doing.
talking, I'll find it.
Oh, I've got to click watch stream.
Analysing stuff.
This is the red card incident. So
Yes, yeah, I found it.
Oh,
Let me put it in like half time so we can see it properly.
yeah, so it's on the halfway line. Right, I can hear me in the background as well.
Oh, sorry. I'll.
All right, so Chong gets
Yeah.
the ball. He's driving towards Sirkin. Sirkin puts his hand out, and Chong puts his hand forward as well at the same time. So they run at each other down the right hand side. Our left, their right. So Chong's hands raised. That should be a yellow card in my opinion. So Sirkin is quite clearly looking to obstruct the player. So I think that I was talking about the first yellow card. But yeah, for me that is a yellow card for both, in my opinion.
You know what? Now I'm looking at it.
Look at what Sirkin does. Sirkin plants, sees that Chong is about to
so
go
he
down his right hand side, and then just
So
looks
he misses
to
the ball. Yeah.
Bad as each other. Bad as each other. They're like.
Yeah, I think it's a yellow for both. 100%.
yeah.
That's the benefit of being able to watch it on replay. And if you're watching it on replay, who else can do that? VAR can do that,
Like,
can't
he
they?
shouldn't be blocking. He should not be having his hand in his face. That's a yellow for me. 100% a yellow for Birmingham. I don't know why the ref didn't
VAR
give
was
that.
in the Championship, they'd have both got yellows straight away.
There we go.
I mean, if VAR was in the Championship, you would have had about 4 penalties in the last 2 games.
Oh, it would be funny if it wasn't so true. We've also had a lot of welcome George Osters, by the way, to the chat. It says crazy how 5 games ago Sunderland was so far away off the playoffs, and after this week's set of results, 3 games and just 2 points off. So it's still to play for. But that aside, the Birmingham game overall, we'll talk about that rather than just the yellow card, the second yellow card incident, because that ultimately didn't have a final impact or final say on how the game unfolded. The action points were before that, right? We got our 2 goals back. I'll ask this question, and we'll start with Cabby on this one. The goal that Sunderland got just before the half time, how much did that change our outcome or our flow going into the second half?
It's the Birmingham game still you're on about, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We're on the front foot after that. Usually we're falling a goal behind, don't we? But it just changed the way we played. It seemed to give the stadium a lighter lift, and the lads seemed to thrive on that, and I thought we took control of that game. Even though we were down to 10 men, I didn't feel threatened at all. Yeah, it was just a shame that we got a player sent off within minutes after scoring the win as well, because I think we could have maybe done them by more. But it was definitely a game changer.
Oh yeah, great. I 100% agree with that point. We'll move on to Jacob.
Yeah.
Yep.
Still on about the card incident?
No. The goal before half time, how much did that impact the game?
Our goal, I think it had a lot. I feel like it boosted the team, because we were 1-0 down and their goal was sloppy. And to get the goal back just before half time was going to rally the team. It was going to make them think, right, we can get back into it. We can get more goals in now. So I think it did boost the confidence a bit, and I think they did respond well to Birmingham's goal, because terrible defending as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Defensively, I think we had brick walls to come up against. Where we did well in that game, I think, was doing what Birmingham were doing and counter. So we were inviting them on when we were inviting them on, and a lot of them were pushing forward, including Chong, who got our player sent off. They looked vulnerable, when we were breaking at them at pace, but to the same end, that's the only time that Birmingham looked like a threat. So, yeah, 100% agree, mate. It did change quite a lot. Paul, what are you thinking about that first half leveler, literally in the dying embers of the first half?
Yeah, our goal actually changed the game. Like, you could tell they were missing Troy Deeney.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah. Okay, and Darv, the leveler just before half time. Darv,
Yeah.
he's on mute.
Wait, how long have I been muted for?
Sorry,
lads.
Since you talked about the yellow card.
Fuck. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'll just repeat what I said. Yeah, I think it did your boys a massive confidence boost.
Mhm.
I think you needed it. I think when Birmingham scored, I think you kind of slowed down a bit, and you kind of shouldn't. You're doing really really well. You had pressure pretty much the entire half, and yeah, I think you really needed that goal just to prove. It is almost like you needed a goal for your players to prove to themselves that they were capable of almost scoring, in a sense, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I 100% agree.
Yeah, because watching the game, it was like you were dominating them, but it was almost like you didn't have the confidence that you were going to score. So I think getting that last minute equalizer at halftime really kind of gave them like the, oh shit, we can actually do this, you know. So
yeah.
Help, I think.
I think that is a perfect point to tie both those games in, the Birmingham game and the Huddersfield game. I think both of these matches were dampened by our not ability to shoot. It's just where we were shooting from just seemed very illogical. And like the last attempt, we had the ball in the box in both of these matches, but more so in the Birmingham match, where we were pretty much in shooting range. The defender's half a yard. There's plenty of space to shoot at, but we'd rather take a pass. We'd rather cycle it to the other side of the goal. We wanted to make the shots absolutely perfect every single time, and I think when you've got like 15 seconds for Birmingham to recover and drop back, and you still haven't had that shot, the threat is essentially dampened and gone after that. So, it did kind of carry over into the next game, and we'll start talking about the Huddersfield game now. Then, so. The difference between the Birmingham game and the Huddersfield game is that we actually took the lead in the Huddersfield game and then ended up drawing it 1-1. But it was very much a tale of two halves. You had Ahmad feed the ball into Gelhardt through the middle of the pitch, breaking through the defensive lines. Huddersfield way too high up, and the huge gap, and it was exploited by Gelhardt with his really good.
Oh my God, Southampton's just gone 3-1 up.
Fucking hell, what?
That is mad.
How are they actually throwing there? They had such a massive lead. Come on, man.
Wow. Okay, Arsenal are throwing the Premier League title. Oh, that's perfect. Arsenal are throwing the Premier League title away. But yeah, that aside, I think it was a tale of two halves. I think the second half we were trying to rest on our laurels and reserve energy for the next 3 games. I feel, and anyways, Warnock came out there with trying to rescue something from it, and they did that about 15 minutes into the second half, and I don't think they let up all that much in the second half, but I don't know, it felt like Sunderland tripped over themselves a little bit. I don't know how many games is that for us now that we're unbeaten. That's 6 games. 6 games unbeaten.
Let me have a look for you.
I think our last defeat was against Sheffield.
History. Fixtures.
So yeah, So whilst you're doing that, thank you for confirming, Acacia.
Yeah, 15th of March was your last loss.
Against Sheffield.
About 2-1 Sheffield.
Yeah. So I think we're not up the very top of the form guide because a lot of those non-defeats are draws, but we're picking up points when it matters, and the tail end of the season is exactly when it matters. If you we'll talk about the playoff hopes and potentially after we've gone through this Huddersfield game. So, yeah. Paul, what's your thoughts on the Huddersfield game? How did it unfold for you?
Well, like I said on RW Productions, actually.
Yeah.
When it came to full time, actually, I was like, should I cut the players off? Shall I not? Should I cut them off? Shall I not?
Was it that bad?
I wasn't happy with the performance, and to be honest, I didn't clap them off actually at the end.
Okay. Who was okay? So you're saying it was
me that didn't clap them off actually in the stadium. Everybody else clapped them off, but I didn't.
Right. So who do you think had a bad game for us? Because that should be surely the only reason you're not clapping them off. Like they're not putting in the best effort. Do you really think that?
I think it was just for me, I think it was just the performance. That we're used to under Tony Mowbray.
During his dip. Okay, that's an interesting point. I'll pad that out in a bit with my interjection. But Cabby, you were obviously working during most of this game. So how did it feel for you when you found out what the result was?
Well, actually, I was watching the whole stream. I had my phone on the dash cam and that, and
Oh, you just couldn't. Yeah, okay. So you couldn't chat.
yeah, I just couldn't chat. And I had two Carlisle fans in the back I was picking up, and they were absolutely jealous because they kept hassling us to put the Carlisle match on. I thought, no, get lost. This is a Mackem taxi. You'll have to wait till you get home. No, but to be quite honest with you, I mean, I know I was a bit defeatist, but I'm always like that sometimes, aren't I? When I thought like Huddersfield are going to get a scrappy 1-0 win, I wasn't at all surprised. But once I realised it was Warnock that was the manager, and then I seen the last few results that Huddersfield have, and they've done well against the top sides since Warnock's took over.
Yeah.
I knew that there was going to be a very difficult game, and to be fair, I thought it was a fair result, and we didn't offered very, very little second half. I thought we looked tired, lack of ideas. Huddersfield was shutting up shop quite quick, and at the end of the day, I thought it was a decent point for us because I think that was the hardest game out of the remaining games that we've got left. I think we played a proper battle inside Huddersfield there.
Oh, I think I don't know about that because I think we've got obviously West Brom who are in the dogfight for the playoffs with us, and Preston who could be basically on par with us on the last day of the season. So I think it's the first of 4 cup finals and we drew it. So I don't know. Is that a good or bad sign? We'll find out over the next couple of weeks. Yeah, I get your point though. It did seem like a fair result for what was on display for the day. Jacob, what's your thoughts on the result?
I wasn't actually. I know Huddersfield generally we should be beating them because of how poor they've been this season, but in the recent games since they've ever had Warnock, they've been doing pretty good. I mean, I think they beat Watford, which was a good result, and I think beat Middlesbrough at home. So, and I thought that. So I wasn't too disappointed, but the first half we were good, and I thought how the performance was in the first half, it looks like we were going to run away with a fairly comfortable win.
Yeah.
But then in the second half, it felt like we were sat back, and Huddersfield were pressing us, and then they got the goal, which I thought were a bit could have done something about it really, and even after the goal, they were pressing for a second, and I was thinking I had some nervous feelings that they were going to get a second. Thought they were going to run away with a win, but they didn't. But if this was in January at home, if we played them at home, or October or November, I'd have been raging, because at that point I'd have been saying, why we're not beating them at home, a team that's doing really bad. But
yeah,
at this time now, because of how should have been, I wasn't too disappointed.
yeah.
So overall, I'm disappointed that we didn't get the win, but I'm not raging, to be fair, because Huddersfield have been doing good in the last games.
Yeah. Before I move on to you, Darv, I will just highlight that Huddersfield stayed out of the bottom three because of that point. So, building on what DJ said, around they are fighting for it. They are picking up points when it matters for them, for their survival in this league. So,
But would you say they're mathematically safe now, Huddersfield, or is there still a possibility of them going down?
They're literally 1 point outside of the playoff, the relegation zone. If they lost that game, they would have been in the bottom three with goal difference in mind. So it's a really big point for them, and it's the start of their final three battles.
I think that's gonna. I can see them staying up, to be fair.
That point could be huge, because all they need to do is match or better the two teams that are below them in QPR and Reading. So I think they've got what they must have. Sorry?
If they go down, I'll be a bit disappointed, because we've not. When you look back on the season and think we couldn't beat a team that's just got relegated at home, but on the other hand, at that period, Neil Warnock we got some good results. You know, Neil Warnock.
Yeah, they were looking like they were going to rescue it. Yeah.
That's how you'd see it if they got relegated.
Oh yeah. If they get relegated, it's 2 points dropped. Yeah, it's 2 points dropped.
That's how I'd see it if they get relegated.
Yeah. Well, it's potentially 2 points that we can get off the team that replaces them. But Darv, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it was a decent game. I think you probably should have scored a couple more times at least.
Sure.
There's quite a lot of times where I think I know I say this most weeks, but I think the biggest problem you have is you'll get it into the final third and you'll just pass it around in the box and then waste the chances.
Yep. Oh yeah. No,
I don't. Yeah. I don't really know who needs to make changes about that, but it needs to happen, I think. Gallart's goal was good. I wouldn't say it was phenomenal, but it was decent.
Sure.
I think your defense was also pretty good that game.
First half, yeah, I 100% agree.
First half was great. Second half, it did go downhill. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because they scored in the 59th minute, didn't they? So
yeah, and they put persistent pressure on after that point as well.
Yeah.
I will add, because Acacia's brought up a really good point. So she said the game was mental. We should have scored 2 or 3 goals in the second half at least. And they had a conversation essentially at the side of the pitch amongst themselves. Correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, but the lateness of our first substitution felt a little bit too late. You can just see here if you're watching on YouTube. Our first substitution was 15 minutes after they scored in the 73rd. Our first sub is in the 73rd minute, and then we bring on 2 players just before the end of the game. And that's Anderson's debut to see out a game for 3 minutes. Like, what? How is that going to build his confidence? Yes, he's got now his first game where he doesn't concede, I guess, for 3 minutes, but that's not going to help him long term, because Sturkin's back next week. I think
that's why I was a bit annoyed with Tony Mowbray, to be honest.
What with the substitution timings? Yeah. I think it's sticking to the game plan, which I do really like that he does that, but he doesn't react. to when we are clearly on the back foot. If we made that, we could have made a sub 10 minutes into that second half and defensively worked out how to do it for the rest of the game, because Huddersfield came out the gates and they were on us for the entire first 20 minutes of that second half. We held out for most of it, but then they score like 16 minutes into it. It's it's sloppy. It could have been prevented if when the ball went out for a corner or the throw in, we could have made a substitution to solidify where they were breaking through us. Like, I don't know. It just seems we'll stick to the game plan, and the game plan's going to work regardless. That I do think that's really good when you're performing like Sheffield United or Burnley. Like, sticking to the game plan clearly works. But when you're in the mid-table for form guide, react to what you're coming up against. They're not gonna be able to sustain it for half an hour, 40 minutes. But when they are putting that much pressure on our defence, and our defence are clearly not coping very well, fix it. Like, it's as simple as that. You can't just say, "Hey, get your head on," and then, "Oh yeah, okay, magic, I'm fixed." Like, the same players still come up against them and working out how to get past them. So
I was pleased for Gelhardt getting the goal, though. I mean, because he has took a bit of stick off the Sunderland fans, and to be fair,
yeah,
he took that goal bloody well, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so I'm talking about the second half a little bit there, but yeah, the first half for us with Gelhardt getting that goal, his third for the club in 9 games, which I think is a half decent return, to be fair. It didn't look like it was ever likely to happen. I don't know if you recall our previous podcasts and chats about what we would deem as a success for Gelhardt in our club, but I think I threw. Yeah, well, it could happen. Yeah, I said when he came in January, like, I want to see him score in the, what was it at the time, 19 games remaining. I want to see him score 6 or 7. So it's still possible. He could score a couple of goals in the next couple of games. Now he's got his head switched on, but yeah, that might not even happen again because Sunderland are doing stupid shit in the back.
He's actually got a knock for Sunday, unfortunately.
So yeah, it might be in the squad, but again, it's because we're overworking them. So yeah, that's our previous 2 games. The one thing I will say about our previous 2 games is that we did better than everybody apart from West Brom over the last 2 games for results. So West Brom climbed the most. They won both of their games. So if we play them on Sunday, that could potentially dampen their playoff hopes and boost ours. But everybody else, Millwall won 1, lost 1, so that's 3 points. Blackburn drew both of their games, that's only 2 points. So Coventry drew and won, same as us. And Norwich lost and drew, and Preston lost and lost, and Watford won and lost. So everybody in the playoff pack, apart from Coventry and Sunderland, picked up less than 3 points. So the ideal would have been obviously to win both, and we would actually be in the playoffs going into this weekend. Very similar to how West Brom are. So I think our next opponent is that first of 3 finals that we need to go into and win. How can you see that happening? How are we going to set ourselves up to beat this current West Brom side? I'll throw that to Cabby, DJ. How do you think we're going to set ourselves up to beat West Brom on Sunday?
I've sort of like double standards here on. I said Huddersfield was the hardest game.
It's the hardest game, but this might be the biggest test.
The biggest test. If I remember the stadium, like, there was such a big physical side, West Brom, and I think we might struggle to deal with them. How physical that they are, and I just think it'll be a bit too much for us on that day, and I cannot. We'll do really, really well to get a point, but I cannot see us getting anything. I can't see us getting the win.
It's at the Hawthorns, right? It's at the
It
Hawthorns.
is, yeah. I hope I'm wrong, but I just think that they're a very physical side, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I thought the same against Burnley. They were a physical side and they blitzed us the second half, but we really played well at Burnley. I
Yeah,
really didn't know, but it'll be tough. It'll be really tough.
I 100% agree. So I'm gonna quickly throw out the injury list for both teams, and you'll see why I think we will have a harder time of it than West Brom. So West Brom have 4 players who are currently injured: Diangana, Dyke, O'Shea, and Phillips. We have Elise out, Ballard, Bath, Bennett, Embleton, Evans, Higgins, and Stewart, and maybe even Gelhart on top. So we have at least 8 out injured.
On Sunday either.
Why?
His missus has just gone into labour.
Who?
Oh, okay, Lugo 9 again, because she was in labour two games ago or something, wasn't she?
Was injured that day, so I didn't.
Ah.
So I didn't play.
I thought that was the labour thing then as well. So, yeah, we could be without our basically a first full team. That's ridiculous at this stage of the season, and it's quite vital that we do pick something up from it. But I'll say this before Paul, you give your say on how we think we're going to beat them. We do thrive when we're the underdogs, when there's less pressure on us to come out with something. We tend to excel in that situation. When we're the favourites and we expect it to, that's when Sunderland do the typical Sunderland thing and screw things up for themselves. So, yeah. What's your thoughts?
It'd be interesting how we actually get on against these ants, to be honest, because Mowbray actually is. I know he did say that young Tommy Watson that came on.
Mm-hmm.
He is actually going to travel to West Brom.
Okay, that's good.
I've seen that some under 18s I think is going to travel. But we'll find out tomorrow because they've got Manchester City tomorrow. I wonder.
You mean the under 18s have the Man City?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll find out tomorrow who's actually going down to West Brom for the squad, but it'll be tricky down there.
Oh, I 100% agree. If you just look here as well, there's an odds thing that nicely comes up here, and the odds on favourite are West Brom to win it. We are 8 point. So what's that? 4.420. 4.2 to 1. So that's I'm trying to work it out, an 8%, 1 out of 8 chance of winning this game according to the bookies. So if you think Sunderland are going to win, put a flutter on.
We're actually on Sky, so
yeah,
you never know, something might happen.
Some of the players might not be used to it. Jacob, how do you think we're going to set ourselves up to beat this West Brom side?
Well, I think we could be try and be a bit more defensive in the first half. Maybe let them attack a bit. It might tire them out by the second half, and then in the second half, if they're quite tired out after that first half, be more attacking at them and put pressure on them.
So
it's going to be hard, though.
Okay, so what I'm getting from that is basically you want to apply what Birmingham did to us, only get them on the counter, that kind of invite them on, keep it shielded out, and then catch them on the counter with 1 or 2 clinical breakthrough goals. Okay. I think that is potentially a good shout, depending on who does start for us. I think Pritchard and Ahmad are definitely going to be up front, and Ahmad's
because of the injuries we've got.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the injuries we've got, though, in it, like Bath's out, in his Elise. I think is Elise out as well.
Yeah.
I think Elise is out. It's not going to be easy, but I think that could be a good tactic. But I think it's going to. I'm going with a draw tomorrow. I think it'd be 1-1 tomorrow.
A draw? You think it's a 1-1 on Sunday? Sorry. Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if we get a late equaliser, if we're losing 1-0 and we're proper pushing, especially in the second half, and then we just get a surprise late goal in the end.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Darv, How do we beat this West Brom side?
I think you just go full attacking, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I think you just try and be aggressive, but like not overly aggressive, if that makes sense. Like you need
Mhm.
to put pressure on. I think if you have been playing like you do for the last couple of games, they might just run over you. So I think you need to just keep the pressure on. You need to press the ball. I noticed quite a lot of times. It's almost like your players are kind of scared to challenge when someone's running towards them, so they kind of back off, and that just leaves holes in your defense and leads to shots being shot. So yeah, I think you just need to play aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep your mark on men and just yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So here's my 2 pennies on it. We are in a very fortunate position, and I'm going to class it as fortunate, in that over the last couple of weeks, every single game that could have went our way, with the exception of these West Brom ones, have went our way. And results wise, we've climbed up the table. We're looking ever closer to those playoffs, but also every other team's playing tomorrow, and we'll have a better viewpoint of what a win would actually do. And I think having that better clarity on what needs to be done, and like if a point's okay, we might be more defensive. If a 3 point is necessary, I think we'll go gung ho for that. So I think the time difference between the other 11 matches and this one is to our benefit essentially. And if we don't capitalize on working out or having that little extra time to work out what's the best approach in this game, then it's our own fault. Yes, it is an early kickoff on Sunday, but that should mean the rest of the day is therefore either celebration or rolling on to the next time. I do think we do need to also keep in mind that our next game is our last home game after this West Brom one. So see our season out in style and keep our away form, being as we're one of the best away teams in the league. We're literally up in the top 5 of the playoff positions, basically because of our away form. So I don't see why that would impact us when we're away to the Hawthorns. We can continue that away form. So
On the
this
good
is
side, Edward Michu actually trained today.
so he's back.
He
Fucking
could
Yeah.
be back on Sunday.
Yeah. So have you read
Arsenal
Acacia?
equalised.
I was going to say, have you seen Acacia's messages? She put
Oh
three.
my god.
So since we
Jelly fuckers, man.
yeah, 3-2 now. Arsenal got another one back. Odegaard, come on, Arsenal 3-3. Saka's scored.
That's right. The ref's gonna keep playing fucking injury
Until it's
time until they
4-3.
score again.
Until it's
Yeah.
4-3. Yeah.
And then he'll blow the whistle because of course they fucking
Or
will.
they get a penalty.
Yeah.
That's insane. But yeah, okay. Premier League aside, I think we're on for a good match on Sunday, regardless of which team's out there. The fact that we've got so many people injured and we still have a good starting 11, for me, is a really good sign for our squad depth. If we're able to keep the majority of our players fit next year, even if we don't make it this time to the playoffs or whatever, I think we've got a great foundation to build on. And that for me is a very good positive sign for things to come. So how long have we been live now? About 45 minutes.
Would you toss Abdullah Bar in the squad on Sunday?
Why not? Why not? If we've got gaps and we want to play a little bit more strategic with Gelhardt and Ahmad, if we want to be a bit more strategic, give Bar a run out in the first half, and if it doesn't work, swap him in the 60th minute like Mowbray normally does. He is a fitness option, so he is a rotation player that we can potentially use. So yeah, why not? Good question. 98 minutes injury time. Sorry?
I was going to say we haven't seen Abdullah Ball in the squad for a while.
No, it's been about 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah, I think I've covered all of the points off I wanted to cover. So is there anything that you just want to quickly chat about? We've got about 15 minutes. If that's a no, then I'll run through what I'm doing next on my channel, and then we can go through what everybody else is doing, and then wrap it up for the evening. So, so obviously we're doing the watch along on Sunday. So we will be live on this channel again. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe, because then you can watch the game along. It's a 12 o'clock kickoff, so we'll be live 15 minutes.
Oh God! All right, I'll be off asleep, but sure.
Yeah, we'll be live at 11:45. We'll be live just 15 minutes before kickoff, and yeah, hopefully people around the world are able to wake up for that, because I know Australia's like 11 p.m. and Canada's like 2 a.m. or something. So a lot of our regulars on that might struggle to make it, but yeah, it's on Sky, it's on TV, so we'll be watching it and come along to that. I will be posting this onto Spotify, so if you want to listen to this on demand, feel free to do so. Just search for the Mackem Football Show, and we'll pop straight up. And then yeah, see him again this time next week for another Mackem Football Show. Depending on how well we do against West Brom, we could either be really happy or miserable. You'll find out there. In terms of other content, we've got Darv, DJ, Paul, and then Yorkshire. So we'll do it in alphabetical. Darv, what's next on your content plans?
Fucking nothing.
Nothing. Okay. So you're joining me for the watch along on Sunday. That's it.
Yes.
Fair
Yes,
enough.
yes.
Fair enough. DJ/cabbie.
Yeah, I'll just be putting some of the odd classic clips of Sunderland goals from the past and stuff, and I'll be joining you on the stream. I'll be doing my own stream as well. I need to get my watch time hours off. I just need just under 400 to go for the third time, so I'll be doing that.
Yeah. Fair enough, mate.
Be tie down his curtains as well.
I feel well tie down my neighbour's curtains, absolutely.
Fair enough, mate. Which colour?
Red and white.
Oh, it's good. I've been off work since Wednesday. The lass has given us a nasty virus. I've been ill since Wednesday, so I've been off work all week.
So that's why you were tie-dyeing. Okay.
Aye,
No.
absolutely.
No worries. Paul, what's next for you?
Well, I'm actually going to be watching the game in Greek Sports Ball, but RWA Productions has got a stream on Sunday evening, and we've got one on Wednesday night as well.
Cool. So check them out. You'll be popping into my live stream though, won't you? Be a good boy.
I'll pop in while I'm watching the game.
Do as you're told, Paul. Do as you're told, Paul.
Before the alarm goes off from the government.
Fair enough. Right, cool. Thank you. Jacob, what are you up to?
Same as Darv. I'll just be joining you.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Happy to have the company.
Yeah.
So with that one then, we'll wrap it up. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in.
I think we forgot some.
What's that?
Our score predictions.
Oh my god, yeah. Okay. That was bad. Nearly missed it. So we've gone through the content that we're doing. We'll go back to the West Brom game. Okay. We'll do a whistle stop. So do backwards. Jacob, what's your score predictions?
1-1.
A 1-1 draw. Okay, good. Happy with that. Paul. He's up.
2-1 Sunderland.
Keeping our away form on form. I like it. DJ Cabby, what do you want me to call you going forward?
Christ Almighty, just whatever's on the tip of your tongue.
Okay, Christ Almighty, what are you saying?
That'll do me. That'll do me.
What's your score prediction?
I'm gone for exactly the same as Burnley. I'm going to go for notes apiece.
Oh, that's interesting. That is I know it's very similar to the 1-1, but keeping a clean sheet and being solid against West Brom, that would be very, very entertaining 0-0. Darv, what are you saying?
I'm going for a
Emotional damage.
I think West Brom are probably gonna. I think they're gonna win 2-1.
West Brom are winning. Okay, this is the first time you've gone against Sunderland.
That's the first time I've gone against Sunderland yet.
Okay.
In 10 minutes added on at Arsenal now. Crikey.
Yeah, I
The
know. I
emotional
told you they're
damage-
gonna
damage
fucking.
sound was Liverpool's season in a nutshell this season. That's Liverpool.
I mean, we've had a shit season, but we're still 8th. So who's real laughing?
Like, referees waiting till they get a winner, aren't they?
Oh,
Yeah, this is what I said. They're gonna
probably.
wait.
Acacia says she'll be at the West Brom game, and she thinks West Brom 2, Sunderland 3. That is a very bold, high-scoring claim, and I would love to watch that kind of game. But also, I think I'd like to watch the 0-0 as well. I'm going to say Sunderland are going to keep a clean sheet. So maybe a snatch and grab, 1-0. But yeah, I'm going to go 1-0 and expect a 0-0. So I'm covering my bases. Sunderland are winning 1-0. So yeah, that's it. That's our predictions. Thank you again. This is the Mackem Football Show. Catch you on the next one. Bye from me. Bye from everyone else.
See you later.
Bye.
Aye. Away the lads. FTM.
Bye.
Come on.